So, hey guys, welcome back to the Boss Queens with Voices podcast. I'm your host, the Advice Queen, and today I am joined by three lovely ladies, and we're going to be discussing polygamy. So, I'll go from top to bottom and let you guys introduce yourselves. So, Simone, are you okay? Who's at the top on my screen? Sorry, I do apologize. On my screen, Simone's on the top. So Simone, introduce yourself first and then.
Hi, everybody. My name is Simone Ujar. I am a life coach, a youth worker. I have a podcast called the Re-Education Podcast. And I'm looking forward to having this conversation today because it is a juicy topic.
Definitely.
And I'm looking forward to hearing other people's opinions and sharing thoughts and hearing different perceptions.
Definitely.
Do you want me to add my links?
I was just going to say, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram.
If you're professional enough to add your links manually, go for it, because I'm not quite there yet. So go for it. If you can add your links, or if you want to tell everybody where you are, you can tell them and you can add links also.
You see, for me, send it to me. Send it to the WhatsApp group because I can get it then. I don't know how to work this.
You don't need to whisper.
I don't know how to work this. I don't know how to work this thing. So if someone sends it in the WhatsApp circle, the sister circle, I'll get it.
Okay.
So go on, sis. Tell us where we can find you.
So the easiest place to find me is on Instagram, and that is Simone_is_ignited. And then you can click the link in my bio and it takes you to majority of the platforms that I host my podcast on and my website and a few other social media handles. So thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining. So whoever wants to go next can introduce themselves.
Hi, I'll go. My name's Saf. I'm just in the group in regards to knowledge and education and just exploring different issues and different sisters' perspectives on a number of issues.
Yep. And don't play yourself down so much, because you are a big advocate in the community for, championing,
I do advocate
black sisters and
that.
So and you are the mastermind behind our WhatsApp group also. So,
but that's just my passion. It's not my actual goal. So.
But it doesn't matter. Your passion, your job, it doesn't matter. It's still what you do. So thanks for being here.
Thanks, darling. Thanks for that.
And last but not least,
the pain of the bunch. Okay, good night, everyone. My name is Joy, or they call me Jetty in the media world. I've got many hats. So I work in entertainment, music, A&R, PR. I've been a volunteer youth worker for 17 years. I'm a support worker in school. I have a big passion for the next generation and a passion for expression and being creative. That's my passions. What I work in, I'm a qualified life coach. I try to give as much as I can to the community, but I'm not the average type of youth worker that would have that stereotypical youth worker hat, if you get what I mean. Yeah. I get down and dirty. So that's pretty much what I do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Great. So, wealth of knowledge, wealth of strength, how it goes in our community. When we get together, we see what we're really about, because sometimes we just see people at face value and be like, yeah, just another black girl. But, really and truly deep down and within us, we carry a lot of knowledge, we carry a lot of, things that we want to share with other people, especially our own people. So anyway, let me not waffle on. Today, we are talking about polygamy. And for those who don't know what polygamy is marriage in which a spouse of either sex has more than one partner at the same time. So, it doesn't have to just be marriage, I suppose, just a man or a woman having more than one partner. And even when I because as I said, I've only just, not that I don't know about polygamy, but it's just become a thing that I've been hearing about a lot in the last few months. And obviously I said, all right, cool, let me do a little bit of research. And I didn't even know that there was, under polygamy, there's like 3 different branches. So you've got
polyamorous and something else, isn't it?
Polygamy, polyandry, and then multiple.
Polyamorous,
And then
yeah,
that's the one.
so the polygamy is when the man has multiple women at the same time, and then polyandry is when the woman has multiple men at the same time. I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't know that was a thing. Did any of you?
Yeah, I did.
Polyandry, yeah.
No.
Yeah, so that was something new that I stumbled on. I was like, oh, women do this as well. I thought it was men. And then, yeah, obviously, like group marriage, that's self-explanatory,
It's a growing trend. Sorry to cut you. I think it's a growing trend with women now, whereas it's something that we know of repetitively happening from years beyond with men. But I think it's more a trendy topic now for women to be is it polyandry or polyamorous, whatever they want to determine it says?
I said it before. Polyandrous? I can't say it again.
Polyandry. Which one? The man one or the woman one?
The woman one.
Polyandry.
Yeah.
What did you say about it?
I don't know. I don't know how, from my perception, I don't know how the woman one fits in. I can understand the male polygamies in regards to culture and things like that, but I was aware of it and I know it exists, but I don't understand the reasonings behind the woman one. And I mean, I'm sure if a woman was actively doing it, she'd be able to explain the reasons why as an individual. But just as where I'm coming from with the polygamy with males, it's more of a cultural and a providing and looking after and like, you need that family roots and things like that. For me, for the women, unfortunately, I just don't get it.
Nor do I. That's why I said I didn't even know that was a thing. Yeah. So
I don't get it, but I think what it is I think it may stem from the Black feminist woman. If you get what I mean, where they think, okay, men can do it, so we can do it too, type thing.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? But having said that, like what the sister just said, from a cultural perspective and the original foundations of what I determine polygamy to be, it doesn't make any sense.
It
If
does.
You get what I mean?
Woman, yeah, I get you. Yeah.
Yeah. And going back to what Jessie just said in regards to it comes from a woman where we'd say, oh, if they can do it, I can do it. That's like a breaking down of us in regards to that's not our culture again. Straying from the issue of, well, we keep saying things like this, but this is Western culture, what we're taking on. If they can do it, I can do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not that comfortable with that.
I would be.
But I understand where it's coming from. And I actually believe that could be like the baseline of where it is coming from in the Black community. In any other community, because not to be like ignorant, I don't really understand it. So I believe, given the fact we're very much followers of Black women now, that would probably something they would say. That would probably be the next step.
Yeah, agreed. I agree.
I'd be interested to know if each of the 3 terms came out at the same time, or if it was a slowly introduction to each of the other ones, because
like a slow progression.
Yeah, because you said that multiple times. I can't even remember what the female one.
I mean, for me, what it was is that I understand what polygamy is. I understand what polygamy is, but I wanted to have a definition to come and be able to give the viewer. So when I did Google the definition, I literally typed in the definition of polygamy. That's why I said I was shocked, because I didn't even know that there was something called polyandry, which is the woman's side of it, So it was like, whoa, this is like new information. So I haven't really been able to look into it to see if it's a thing, if it's a new thing, if it's a thing that was going on from times before, or that sort of thing, because we all know that polygamy has been going on for many hundreds of years, in different cultures and different parts of the world, isn't it? So yeah, so just to kick off, just to not to break but Sisters Keepers just joined us. So
hey,
if anybody's wondering.
Good night.
on the screen.
Good night. We'll just overlook that you're late, but that's fine.
Sorry.
Greetings.
What you say, Sam?
Say that again.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Yeah.
you. Yeah. So to start off, I just wanted to get each and everyone's views on, what are your views on polygamy, and particularly on, your views, and also, the lady that we all saw the clip of, that that was sent to the, what do you think of her views, and what are your views when it comes to polygamy? You can go one by one. Simone, you can start.
Where should I start? My views on polygamy, I guess each to their own, but having a clear understanding of what you're entering into, and that's on both parts, male, female, extra males, extra females, whatever the situation may be. For me, I like it to just be us, just me and my partner. And I guess if the conversation was to come up, I am comfortable enough to share how it would make me feel and my thoughts on it, but I'm not going to be forced into no situation.
100%.
And I found the clip that you shared in the group quite interesting, but at the same time, a bit of a, sister girl, you need to give a bit more than what you're saying, because she's saying you share your partner with everybody. Yes, just like you share your children with their other parent and the other side of their family. But it's what you give as each individual in that person's life. And I know that what I'm giving my partner, his mum isn't giving him, his sister, his cousin, his brother, nieces and nephews, they're not giving him. So
more power to you, sister. You're confident in your thing.
I have to be, I've been through confusing relationships. I've gone through personal growth. I've had to, face some real tough challenges in relationships. And I think all of that has led me, all the personal growth that I've done as well, being a life coach and having a life coach as well, that kind of helps you take a deeper look within yourself, then reading new experiences, listening to other people and engaging and networking with new people, like the outside of your normal friendship circle, socializing in different areas, like you begin to be opened up to new things and other perspectives and other experiences. And I think that that's what, as much information as you can get about what it is that you're entering into is what you need. And you need to be confident and comfortable in what it is that you're entering, because I can just see some people, whether it's, I'm going to say particularly women, and I'm not talking for everyone here, but I feel that sometimes a woman may feel that, oh, well, I don't want to lose him, or, if that's what makes him happy, then that's what I should do. Because there's a difference in polygamy and then there's a difference in open relationships, I believe, because again, there's consent and there's knowing what you're entering into. But I would hope that when women are entering such relationships, that they are certain on what it is that they want from it and what they're entering into. For me, it's a no, and I didn't really, I kind of understood, I kind of heard what the sister was saying on the video, but I didn't agree because, like I said, we all share everybody with somebody else and multiple people, but it's what is it that you two have as a relationship and as a unit is going to be different for everybody else. That's
100%.
That's how I feel.
100%. So who wants to chime in on that?
I would say, because I sent the video, and when I was taking in the video, half of me was like, and half of me is like, yeah, I could accept it, but I'd have to see evidence from the male of how you're going to put this into place, or why you live like this with what you bring to the table in regards to how successful you are at this. if you know what I mean, like is in regards to, I do agree with Simone in regards to like the intimacy, and I'd like it to be me and you. However, if you could prove to me the history of like, this works, look at this stuff, this works, look how confident I am, look at what I get from this, look what I bring to the table, you know what I mean, I make it okay. I'm financially, emotionally, and I can deal with that as a man, and I've got evidence within you as being that man.
Sorry, can you guys, sorry, 1 second. Can you guys mute your mics until you're speaking, because I'm getting a lot of background noise? Yeah, go on, sorry.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know what I'd say if someone, okay, like if someone brought that to the table to me and I identified, I could be comfortable with this, but only as this person in what you're saying, what you're telling me, and what you're showing me. Because remember, to me, if someone lives their life like that as a male, we're just talking about as a male, obviously, if you met me and you wanted me to be in this relationship, this is a relationship you've proven. This is how you live your life. I wouldn't think you just meet me, no, because it's me, let's do this. It's like, no, I'd assume this is how you live your life due to religious reasons or other reasons. So obviously I wouldn't be just a person you've met to come into it. You've already have some structure or some foundation of this where I can see, well, yeah, you do support us mentally, physically, and emotionally, and financially. And you've got a proven history of it, and you are that stable person, and you know this is what you're about in life. So if I come to you and like wanted to change you, I think no, I've got to understand you, but it has to be from a perspective of like, for real, this is how we live. And if it wasn't for me and I wasn't comfortable, for real, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, it wouldn't be something I'd rule out, depending on how it was brought to me.
Yeah. Joy, you wanted to say something?
Yeah. I'll if him prove it to me. So let me speak proper English now.
You can speak anyhow you want to speak, babe.
Speak how you want, babe.
Prove it to me, goodie. Me not there for that.
I
just not there for it. I don't know how to explain it to you. I don't know if it's the westernized part of me, but there's something within me as an African woman and a divine woman where I feel like me can survive, me can suffice all him needs, mentally, physically, creatively. Me can the way how they're doing it now is not me being the first wife I choose, the second one, the third, and the fourth wife, you know. And them can the girl them come tell me which woman them want me mingle up with. First of all, there's one thing that I have a problem with. The second thing I have a problem with, exchange of energy and exchange of bodily fluid. Me's a person when I have sex with anybody for that reason they're alone.
Yeah,
so for you 100%. Do that with me, I don't know if I can do that. That's me in Jamaican. Me English now, I feel like they've blurred the lines and the boundaries of this African foundational principle that was done in a certain way for a certain reason, being a woman who didn't have any money to look after her child, her husband dead in a war, her husband sick and dead. So he would take on that burden because he financially, emotionally, and his wife, someone's did.
But I mean, even in talking about culturally, like, you know, mostly back in them days, it was only kings and chiefs you know, people of high-ranking people that, you know, practice polygamy. It wasn't just like the everyday average Joe, because you wouldn't be able to afford all of those people anyway to, you know, to be able to maintain all of those relationships. So that's the reason why I wanted to speak about polygamy anyway, because I wanted to, because me and Sisters Keeper, we've kind of like touched briefly on it, and I wanted to speak on it on the aspect of where we are coming from as Black women and the streets that we come from and the environment that we come from, and where so many women are, you know, obviously we know that women are with men that are dating more than one girl. So, you know, sometimes you're in a polygamous relationship, whether you like it or not. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? And majority of the time, you're not leaving that situation. You know, you're having children in a situation, you're fighting each other. So from my perspective, it's like 50-50, innit? Personally, myself, that's not for me, innit? But I'm not going to say that I would never. And then again, there is a set of people that they just like to share, man. They don't think they really want a man for themselves. So for those people, I think then, yeah, you know, you might as well be in that situation where the man is providing, as we said, Sisters Keeper, he's providing for, you know, all of you, or, you know, the children are all in one setting where all the children are able to be provided for. So I think there's like pros and cons. Do you understand what I mean, to the whole situation? Do you want to add on to that, Sisters Keeper?
Sure. So as you said, we touched on it briefly, right? My view on it is more political than anything else in regards to where we are today as a people. I think the most important things for me right now is what you stated around our women that are in polygamous relationships and don't want to call it that. They're having children in these circumstances, and I find that the children are losing out just because the mothers can't get their heads right. Like there's one man in the middle and you guys are not leaving. You're still having, as Mr. Them play who can breed the most so that the man can spend most of the time at the person who have the most children yet or whatever the circumstances may be. But those things don't make any sense, right? It is about race survival and, as I said, and all around politics. From that perspective, I think it makes sense. From that perspective, I think it is a system that needs to be revisited from the perspective of the children. Like there are a lot of our mothers out here that are single mothers that don't necessarily have an income. Many of, Black women on a global scale that are caught in circumstances of being defined as low income the children are suffering. The children are suffering. Again, for me too, sisterhood before polygamy. So if we don't have a sisterhood, we'll never have a polygamous system because polygamy is run, created and funded to women and feminine energy. So if that's not there, it's not going to work. And this is why we have a lot of, the politics that we're talking about now around who gets to be with who and who shares who and all these things is very competitive. So we cannot see it for the benefit of what it is if we're not thinking about ourselves and the future, which is the youth. Then you understand, everybody only think about them selfish needs. I want the man to myself. I want to be the wife. I want to choose. That's not what it's about, So that's my perspective on that. Personally, again, for me, it's not something that I've entered into. It's not something that I've been approached to enter into. But I think one of the sisters were talking about a lot of the men probably out here in the West not being in the position on polygamous lifestyle. And I think that it's because of the misunderstanding around that system and what it should be. We have a lot of confusion. So there is a lot of loss. For the brothers, it's that, it will stroke me ego from have 2 and 3 women when me have sex or 2 and 3 women with men alone. So I think for both of us as men, African women, we need to kind of move away from the lust aspect of it and look at it from the perspective of how we benefit as a people, as a race of people, as an individual people. How would a system like this benefit us? So that's my view on it. I don't really get into all of the rest of the little things because it don't really bother me. I'm grounded enough as an individual. I know myself, know more. I feel like any position I put myself in, I know why I go there. And with the things that I choose to dabble in regards to, the circumstances of my people, most of my decisions in a lot of relationship and otherwise is politics. It is political. How does this benefit us as a people? How do we use this to contribute to our race? How do we build with it? That's my perspective. So then I am not really caught up on the trivial things because I'm thinking about other things, and it doesn't mean that, it's a shot at anyone or it's a disrespect. No, everybody have moving on the vibration with them know for themselves. You understand? You cannot take anything onto yourself that you don't agree with. So, but definitely overstand and hear what everybody is saying. I think what everyone has to say is valid and I respect that, you know what I mean? But this is just my personal perspective on it all.
Can I just add something where you mentioned about the lust aspect of the relationships? For me, that just speaks of knowing what it means to be in a relationship, like how people are approaching relationships. Because a lot of people do fall in lust, not in love. And then there are some people that are basing their relationship on sex. Like there's so much more to the physical, than the physical, sorry. And the physical does come with connections, like Joyce said about the energy exchange. Like there's so much wound up within a relationship, within a connection. And you're not in sync with yourself. You can't expect nobody to come and add to your energy and be in synergy with you. It's just that whole, as a community, as a collective, as a group, like we need to really start to explore what does it mean to be in a relationship? What does it mean to be connected with another person, to be in love? Like, what are all the aspects that come with it? Because it's not just sex. It really.
And I agree, and that's where I was coming from in regards to in a relationship like that is what the man had, what growth you could take from him as a woman, and as us as women, before we enter into anything like that as our community, we need to identify what would be a healthy relationship, and we don't have to have a label on it. It's what's healthy for you.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be named as anything, you know. It can be, well, what works for me and what's going to, like as the sister said, the political aspect. And I think for real, maybe we are caught up with naming it as something and not looking at what's healthy for us, what keeps us going, how we're going to maintain this as a community. And I think if we took the name out of it, and like we said, a lot of females are kind of in a relationship like this, and reality, you're very comfortable with it, but you haven't got the understanding to understand. There's certain aspects of the relationship what's not healthy. However, there must be some healthy relations, something healthy in it. So you know, if you kind of worked on it and make an understanding out of it, even if you're in it, you could make it work for you.
Right.
From the children's
without tearing
perspective
down any other female who also may be in it and not aware.
From a family perspective, and that backline of having children around many people, because I believe firmly that a community grows. I was in Jamaica for 10 months, and by far, I tell you, it's not a mother I raised no picnic out there. The whole neighborhood I raised a picnic. I believe that in the baseline of how the foundations of it, culturally, it had a purpose. But I'm saying to you that they've blurred the lines and that boundary is almost like it's about lust now, and not about him being a provider,
yes, 100%.
I agree.
And him giving that male role model space for the children, and that child being around other women who can anti this and anti that, and having that whole baseline, that community feel that being born and raised in England, I didn't feel until going to Jamaica. Like on a serious note, we used to say the whole lane of a Anne in a raise that child. You see it? So I understand it from a community perspective. But these men nowadays, these nowadays men are not providers. They're not generically providers anymore. It's like they've lost that aspect of being.
That's true.
The head of a household on the providing level, on the background of giving it that male energy. I don't feel like they have that. They're doing it to have 20 gal and to say that I have 20 gal and me's a man will have 20 gal and them know about it. Because remember, the other one is like the hide and seek.
I kind of want to jump off. I kind of want to piggyback off of something you said when you say enough of them are not providers anymore. So we want to look at the conversation that's going on amongst our women now and this independent bullshit, right? We are hearing that there's a real issue around this concept of independence. And I mean, I don't know which part me stand with that. Independence is an illusion. You are a self-sufficient being. Independence is foolishness. You might not independent. We will depend on each other. End of story. With that being said, women are feeding into mass media's opinions of who they should be, especially our women. And so them are tell us, say, you know, woman power and you don't need no man and all these things. So then the man them were already workless. I say, well, she can do it by herself and she not require me to do anything. And that's a big thing. A lot of us are not requiring anything out of these men. We can't tell them they right to send a Toronto and I will for worklessness. Me say, enough of them girl and mind them money have to keep them and I do all kind of something. So it's like, if you're gonna take on all these roles, then I might as well play the role of a child. So this is why, for me, I consistently speak life into women, because you have to require them to do. You have to require them to be better. You have to do it. You have to do it. Stop entertaining them if they're not going to give you what you want. You're not going to be a provider. You cannot get my front, sir. You cannot build a house.
Yeah, I agree with that. However, I agree with that. And having the same conversation with my sister in America yesterday, the reality of that, the concept, fine. The reality of that now, because we was talking about our boys, and the reality is sometimes others females have to take responsibility how we grow our boys. And 100%. Me, I will hold up my hands to that well into like, listen, 100%. Okay, 100%. You didn't know then, but you see the way we grow our boys, this is why they behave in a certain way as well. So we have to acknowledge as parents, as females, you have to kind of understand how, even if the male isn't there, you know, because I always advocate, for real, it does take a man and woman. However, some circumstances, whatever, the man ain't there. When the man isn't there, we've still got to understand how we grow our boys. 100%. And then we can't sit down on our high rise and look at like, well, the man nowadays, they're worthless because they're coming from females. They're coming from the energy we're giving them.
There you go.
So I think we've got a big part to play in that. And I know, and I understand it. And I know like with us as elders, we need to make the young females know about this. Not ever saying it's too late for us, you know, But however, we need to reinforce this with younger people who are having children now. Because I know when I was younger, I never understood this. I never understood it. And it's just now when I'm getting an age, I can see.
Because
real, my boys
a lot of our
look,
parents didn't speak to us. They just shunned, you know,
Yes.
to be quiet or what, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's why, but you know,
on one side, if you seen and not heard.
yeah, exactly. Joy, your speaker's low, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you hear me now?
So, yeah. So, you know, everybody's expressed their views. Sisters Keeper kind of like touched on, you know, a question that I wanted to ask as a second question, which was, do you think in this day and age, polygamy could work successfully? And, you know, if, you know, give us your reasons as to, you know, yes or no, you know, what are the reasons why you would say yes, what are the reasons why you would say no? So anybody that wants to start off can, you know.
Would like
Me miss me.
Yeah, go on.
Me miss me. Yeah. Why? And I'll say why. Because it's already happening. It's already working. Just like how we attack sister touch on already. Again, these women are sharing men. And as she said, some of them really just want to share man. Like them don't want none for themselves. So we're gonna always have that. You understand me? I say in the midst of it, women that get pregnant, what if a procreation are going, what if a baby are born? So it's not a question of if it will work, it's happening. It's just more of a structure. You understand me? I say, and for me, as a sister,
So it's more of a how can it work more than an if. So you're saying it's more the how.
How are we going to structure it for it to be more productive then? You understand what I'm saying? When women begin to know themselves.
Sorry.
Go ahead,
or more
Mama.
of an acceptance. Like you said, girls fighting over man, and like the reality, you wouldn't need to fight over it. So more of an understanding of what kind of relationship you're in.
100%.
That too, but let's just be real though. Them know the kind of relationship with them, you know. You know the kind of because why you go out there and fight people data? Why
but some of them don't understand that. I get what you're saying, Sisters Keeper, and some of them don't understand or don't want to accept it because you see how we would have that knowledge to know. Okay, some of them don't. Like I'm saying, same way we grow our boys. Some of them don't understand in reality. Well, that's what's happening. Some will just look at it. I'm a mate. I'm the second girl. You know, like they just accept it as that's how it is.
This is the reason why I say
that's a choice.
Ignorance.
That's the reason why I say
yes.
I was gonna say that's a choice to
Thank
stay
you.
in a
That's where I was going
situation
with that.
when you know you're either the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10. It's a choice to stay in that situation. Okay, you may need a bit of education around what is actually happening, but what's in your face is that your man or the people's them man is with you and every other gal. So it's a choice to stay in the situation.
Thanks. And it's a trend. They formed a culture out of this. Take a girl, man. Take people, man. The people, man. Oh, man, man. Don't cheer the man.
100%.
So you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. For me, the question more is why do we get such a rise out of fighting and competing with each other? Because some women build themselves up to that. You understand what I mean? You want to call girl, you want to fight with girl, you want to text that on the woman. Why? Go deal with yourself. So it comes back to what another sister said here about, you know, just themselves and knowing themselves. And if they don't understand themselves, then therein lies the problem. You're not fit or equipped to be in a relationship with anyone. Because how dare you put yourself in a position like that and then want to fight another woman? Why? The woman decides to just stay and you decide to stay. So what is the fighting about?
Exactly.
What is the fighting about? It makes no
both
sense.
of you are complacent. They're going to go back and do the same thing tomorrow.
Exactly. Foolishness.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I'm saying, Sister Keeper. In regards to them understanding themselves, that's where it starts. So no matter how that relationship is going to go forward, if you're a female and haven't got a clue about man and interaction, obviously it's not. It's going to work for you, but in like a very toxic situation. So then it's called something else. You know, like that. And then remember, we've got children in the play of this. So remember as well, we're growing our children in these kind of environments as well. Making them not understand of how this relationship is working, hating on another adult, being disrespectful, going up to think, oh, I can disrespect this woman because my mom says she's this, she's that. So it's a bigger picture than we see it.
You know what comes to my mind
Guys,
as we speak?
Sorry to cut you, Simone. Sorry, 1 second to cut you. So I'm going to take a break and then we're going to join back on the other link. Is that okay? Yeah, so I'm not taking a break as in going away. I'm literally going to stop this because it's going to end and then we're going to come back.
when I came
on the
when
other
I
link.
came on, it said that the time limit has expired.
I know,
hasn't it?
it's
You
Yeah,
have
don't
to-
worry about that because I didn't start the
Okay.
meeting at the 8 o'clock time, but I know what time I started and I know that it's gonna run out in like, yeah. So I'm gonna stop this recording and then you just join via the second link, please.
Okay.
Okay?
Bye.
Okay.
Okay. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.